Football Show with Burger King. Watch live at 5 p.m. weekdays on YouTube. Join the conversation on 0808 17 17 700. Talking Scottish football first.
And you'll never believe what happened at the weekend. I blame Lee Miller for it. It is Rangers against Celtic in the quarterfinals of the Scottish Cup. And that means, of course, there will be 2 Old Firm games at Ibrox in the first week of March. And, of course, lots of talk about what the away fan allocation is going to be with that 20% rule in the Scottish Cup. Is that going to apply at Ibrox when the Old Firm come together, pitching for a place in the semi-finals of the Scottish Cup competition? Rob MacLean here on the Go Radio Football Show with 2 great guests for you on a Monday evening, Barry Ferguson and Charlie Mulgrew. And Barry, firstly, what about Rangers 8, Queen's Park 0?
Yeah, I was at the game. It was pretty comfortable, if I'm being honest with you, Rob. It's certainly different from last season, when obviously Queen's Park got the great result. We missed a penalty at the end of the game, but very convincing for Rangers from start to finish, and thoroughly deserved the 8-0 victory.
It wasn't going to be lightning striking twice, was it?
No, there's no chance. Obviously under Danny Röhl, the last 3 months have been really positive from Rangers' point of view, and it was again yesterday. It was very professional from start to finish. They dominated the full game. The only disappointing thing, and I know this might sound crazy, I think Rangers will be disappointed with only scoring 8 goals. They had opportunities to score another 5 or 6. But listen, we're in the quarterfinals, get a great home draw against Celtic. So, yep, all things are good from Ibrox.
Plain sailing for Rangers, Charlie. Not quite that for Celtic, in fact, within seconds of going out of the competition.
Yeah, Celtic are very lucky to be in the quarter-final. Dundee, a lot of credit as they go to Dundee. Stephen Presley has them well set up. The intensity Celtic brought to the game was nowhere near good enough, but Dundee defended really well as a team. What surprised me is the lack of control Celtic had in the game. Dundee had a lot of possession and played really, really well in the game, and deserved probably to go through. But then the Martin Röhl effect comes in, and the substitutions were made at the right time, and Tenecti comes on and makes a big difference. Obviously the time runs out, but Kieran Tierney, just before the ball goes up, Kieran Tierney goes down with a head knock, so he's down for a minute or 2, and then it was meant to be 5 minutes added on. Obviously ends up being 7 minutes. Celtic score with 3 seconds to go in that. And listen, I could not see Celtic scoring in that second half. Dundee were absolutely brilliant. Halliday at right back, who eventually gets beat by Tenecti, had an unbelievable game. The centre halves were brilliant. Like Graham and that was really good. The midfield was brilliant for Dundee, and then Celtic get the goal. And then after that, it was crazy how it worked. The team came in, it went to extra time, and Martin Röhl got in amongst the boys, and you could see him. I'm really fascinated by managers and how they talk to their players and what it looks like. You don't often see a team talk on the pitch. You always do it obviously at extra time. And Martin Röhl really raised the intensity the way he spoke to the players, and you could see it straight away. Celtic were like a different team in extra time. Tenecti took the game to Dundee, ended up scoring the goal, and Celtic ran it in the end 2-1 winners, having no turned up until extra time, which is nuts.
You and I were both working on the game, so I ended up interviewing Martin O'Neill afterwards, and I asked him that very question that you touched on earlier on, the O'Neill effect. I said to him, is that what this is, when you go so close to going out and then suddenly you find a way of getting through, and then...
Let me guess, he gave credit to the players.
He very quickly moved it on. But, I mean, it's an incredible record, isn't it? I mean, in his 2 spells, he's still unbeaten in domestic football.
The most impressive thing for me, you talk about the Martin O'Neill effect, is Celtic aren't playing well. The last time they played really well, like a Celtic team of recent times, was against Dundee United at home, and they absolutely battered them, and they just kept them in their half, relentless with chances and scoring goals and being ruthless in front of goal. I've not really seen that since, certainly not the weekend, but Martin O'Neill keeps getting results, and that's the effect of the man. That's what he brings to Celtic, and you can't put your finger on it, and nothing can really measure it. It's just whatever he brings to the team, and whatever he says to them, and the energy he brings to their players, they know how to grind out a result. And that's why I think it's going to be a good end to the season, because they can only get better performance-wise. You can't continue to play like that and grind out results. You need to improve performances, and I'm sure he'll be pushing that. So if you're playing badly and winning, when you start playing well, you're going to go on a good run, and I think it can only help Celtic that.
It's an old cliche, Barry, isn't it? But just find a way of winning, no matter what the performance is like.
That's what Martin O'Neill's done, and it's crazy. You think where Celtic allowed him to leave, they brought in Wilfred Nancy, and it was an absolute disaster. And look what he's done since he's come back. I agree with Charlie. If you watch Celtic, I don't think they're great to watch, but what are they doing? They're finding a way to win football matches. That's what it's all about.
Charlie was mentioning Luke Graham there, one of Dundee's top performers. You know him because he's been through the leagues in Scotland. Is he one that Celtic and Rangers should both be having their eye on for the summer?
Yep, I would be all over the top of him. We speak about this quite a lot. I think it's important, certainly if I look at from a Rangers point of view, having Scottish players. I spoke to Charlie before we come on air. I've watched him 5 or 6 times this year, and he's getting better and better every time. Natural left side, good size. He's done it the hard way as well. He's went on loan to a lower league opposition. So he's certainly done his apprenticeship, and every time I watch him, he's certainly a standout for Dundee.
There was interest in him in this January, last month, transfer window. Charlie, a couple of clubs were in. Was Portsmouth maybe one of them? And
yeah, I heard there was a few teams in from, but no surprise. I first saw him at Falkirk. He went on loan to Falkirk from Dundee, and he's a left-sided centre-half, which are few and far between these days. A lot of teams are after that type of player.
Is he as good as you? That's the big question.
Miles better.
He can run for a start. And he's left-sided, but John McGinn played him right-side centre-half because obviously they had a left centre-half who was the captain, and he played right-side, so that's brought his game on as well. He's now playing for Dundee, and he looks like a Rolls Royce the way he reads the game. He can head the ball for his box. He looks mobile, and modern day centre-back, he can play for the back. He's comfortable in possession, so he's somebody that I'm sure will be on the radar of Celtic and Rangers, potentially Hearts these days.
As long as the two of them can get over their snobbery when it comes to signings, will they sign somebody from their own league?
They have to go over it. I think it's important that you have a Scottish core. I've always said that. Celtic have done it with, I'm looking back, Luke McCown for instance last season. Rangers done it with Lyle Cameron. I know Lyle Cameron's away to Aberdeen, but I think it's important that you look at home because there is definitely players from other Premier League clubs that I certainly think that could do a job.
And when we talk about that, another name that springs to my mind, an unbelievable capture this season, is Barney Stewart at Falkirk, who got one of the goals that got them through last night against St Mirren into the quarter-finals. He was a little over a year ago. He was playing for Heriot University. I think he's 21, 22. And I just got the feeling, listening to John McGlynn talking about him afterwards, that he is really excited about what he can become.
Well, we'll talk about homegrown players. John McGlynn's pulling them for university. That's some going that. That shows how much work John McGlynn's putting in the background. I know he loves to go to a game, so he's doing his homework, and obviously Killian Adams as well. They got for, I think it was still in uni as well. Potentially, maybe they've been to Cumbernauld Colts. He's another one who's done really well. So if John McGlynn gets excited about somebody, then you'd imagine they'll be a good player. I've not seen a lot of him, to be honest with you, but to bring him from a university team into the Scottish Premiership tells you that he saw something that excites him. He's obviously seen stuff in training, and you wouldn't deny John McGlynn a spot on a player. He's got a history of doing it and bringing players for lower leagues and bringing them through the league. So, interesting to see how he goes.
I think he scored 12 and 20 for Dunfermline on loan, Barry, first half of the season. And now he's come back into the Premiership, scored a hat-trick against Hibs. He looks the part. I mean, he's obviously raw and he needs developed, but there's definitely something there, isn't there?
Yeah, he's certainly got a lot of potential. Neil Lennon was obviously gutted losing him because he was a big player for Dunfermline, but listen, he's Falkirk's player. He's been brought in and he's getting game time, and I love to see players like that, like coming from lower leagues, and as you mentioned, it's university league. So he's certainly got a lot of good attributes. I'm sure John McGlynn's working on him day in, day out, and he's got a brilliant track record of spotting younger players.
What did you think when the draw was made? Lee Miller made the draw on the BBC last night, Rangers against Celtic in the quarterfinals. What was your immediate reaction?
Yeah, listen, happy because you get a home draw, and it's even better when you get your fiercest rivals. So, as you mentioned at the start of the show, 2 games in the space of a week. We all know what's coming on the 1st of March. The league game, and then a week later, it's the quarter-final of the Scottish Cup. So these are games, certainly as a player, I'm sure Charlie will agree, these are the ones that you certainly look forward to. So, yep, it was an interesting draw. But now, again, you need to just focus on domestically. Rangers they've got a big week ahead of them. You know what's coming on Wednesday and then the weekend against Hearts. So they need to focus on that and then take what comes to them when they meet Celtic in the quarterfinals.
There's this 20% allocation potentially for away fans at that Scottish Cup game, but it's all got to be agreed between the 2 clubs and Police Scotland as well. Could we see a bigger attendance of away fans in an Old Firm game than we've seen for a while?
I think it's a high possibility. So we just need to wait and see. I'm sure they're in discussions at this moment in time. I'm pretty much old school. I like the way it was a number of years ago. Say I was playing my Rangers at home, or I was at a Rangers game where you would walk out and Celtic would have 7,000 or 8,000. I think
you loved that, didn't you?
That's what makes the Old Firm game special. The atmosphere and getting both sets of supporters. I know the supporters are allowed back in, but still for me, it's not enough. I would like it to get back to what it was previous, but we just need to wait and see. But it'll be interesting to see what happens in terms of the 20%.
Would that be 10,000 at Ibrox?
No, 5.
Is it 5?
5.
Is it? Aye.
Well, 20% would be 10,000, but maybe, I guess it's all negotiable, is it?
Imagine 10,000 at Ibrox. That would be brilliant.
That would be more than normal, but wouldn't it? Or
Would
previous.
That would be the whole, the back bit and then down the side as well.
What was it? The last one was it?
I don't know if Rangers could handle that. Could they? 10,000 Celtic fans at Ibrox.
No, but listen,
Those were the days.
They were the proper days.
Yeah,
they were the proper days.
What about you, Charlie? For a good chunky away support.
Oh, it's so much better. Both ways, it's so much better. You can just.
Do you thrive on that?
Yeah, it adds more pressure, obviously, and it gives the away team a wee bit of help when their fans are getting behind them. But it goes the other way. If they're quiet, then it gives you the help, and I just think it makes it makes a much better spectacle if both sets of fans have got a good support in the stadium. Much better. Back in the day when I used to go to Ibrox and watch Celtic maybe against Rangers, I would sit in the back, there'd be the full back stand behind the goal, and it was so much better. I remember all the beach balls and that getting put on back in the day for Seville, and I remember playing it obviously Celtic Park when the Rangers fans were all in, and it's much better.
Did the Rangers fans, how much did they love you?
Oh, I remember being on the pitch after winning 3-0, and there's a couple that stayed behind and wished me all the best for the season.
Or something like that, yeah. The full Scottish Cup quarter-final draw, apart from that Rangers-Celtic game, is Dunfermline against the winners of Aberdeen-Motherwell. That's next week, the rescheduling of that one. Falkirk play the winners of Dundee United against the Spartans, and St Mirren play Partick Thistle. And I guess, Barry, what the Rangers-Celtic draw does is it opens it up for everybody else. It means one of the big two is going to go, and it's a real opportunity for the rest to think about not just getting to Hampden for the semis, but maybe getting to for the big day in the final. I'm
sure the rest of the clubs that are in the quarter-final draw would have been delighted with Rangers against Celtic. So as you mentioned there, Rob, it takes one of the bigger ones away, and it gives them a better opportunity to make a final. So listen, it's great. Dunfermline, I think that's their first time in the quarterfinals in, was it 17 or 18 years?
Right.
So Neil Lennon's obviously going to be delighted with that. You don't know what's going to happen. Aberdeen, Motherwell, Falkirk last night, tricky tie for them against Stenhousemuir, but they come through it in the end. Got to give a lot of credit to Stenny. I watched the game. I thought they were very well organised under Gary Naismith.
Yeah, very good.
St Mirren, Partick Thistle, don't be surprised if St Mirren get to another final, obviously League Cup holders, but Partick Thistle will have something to say about that. But in terms of the other clubs, they would have been delighted with that draw.
St Mirren could still be on for a cup double Charlie having pocketed the League Cup already.
Yeah, that'll be some going. Callum Davison done it a few years ago, didn't he? That would be some going. But I look at Motherwell and think gives them a right good chance. They beat Aberdeen, then they have Dunfermline, which obviously it's not two easy games, but the way Motherwell are playing, they would fancy themselves to you have a go at the semis and potentially get to a final. And then you look at Dundee United to beat Spartans and then Falkirk to get to a semi-final is a massive chance for them. Having not had a brilliant season, and it'd be a chance to turn it into a really good season for Jim Goodwin. Huge club and one that I know, having been there, wants to get back to cup finals and semi-finals. So it makes it a bit more interesting.
We're going to take your calls in the course of the show. 0808 17 17 700, as ever, is the number to ring. We're live on YouTube, as well as listening to us old-fashioned on the radio as well. And as well as hearing from Barry and Charlie, we'll also hear from Danny Röhl and from Martin O'Neill. And this was the Rangers manager's reaction to that 8-0 win last night against Queen's Park.
I think all in all, I'm happy. I think this is our job to do today. In the cup game, you never know. As an opponent, they want to be compact. They wait for a moment. You never know. But we are straight on front foot. Great moments. I felt it from the first minute on that we were really strong, also from the physical side in the duels. Yeah, and all in all, I think all the goals, different type of goals, showed us at the moment where we are. A lot of final third stuff what we worked on the last 7 days. The 8-0 was nice played, give and go, red zone, the chip ball from Ollie to Ryan second post was well, and then of course we have our strength with the set play as well. It showed at the moment the squad has confidence, individual players have more and more confidence, that helps us, but it's all about the next game, and we know now in the next 2 games this is a big challenge for us. Today we can enjoy, tomorrow's recover, and then we go again.
I had a wee bit of finger trouble there on the button, just bringing in the Danny Röhl clip. So I'm just hoping technically you two, this is my first time in the studio, you see, and I'm just hoping you two are going to help me.
Desperate for that laptop to cut out.
So am I, actually, to be perfectly honest.
I don't know if I can take you serious, but the glasses on right enough.
But you didn't really take me seriously before.
No, well,
anyway.
That's true. That's true.
Lovely green numbers.
I know, I'm not sure about the colour.
Well, I tell you, they didn't go down too well at Ibrox last Wednesday night, to be honest, but they're interchangeable.
Are they Martin O'Neill's?
They're reversible.
They'll be going missing soon.
Yeah, absolutely. We heard from Danny Röhl there, Barry. Only one domestic defeat since he took charge of the team, and that was at Tynecastle in December.
Yep, he's done an excellent job. If you think when he first took over, Rangers were in a horrible position. They were really struggling. There's a really bad atmosphere around about the place, so you've got to give him huge credit. And again, like yesterday, it's one of the ones I thought they were very professional. Good to see Naderi getting on the score sheet with a double. He looks as if he's going to be a good signing. Certainly that was an area where they had to strengthen up top. Chukwani getting his first goal as well. So overall, I think he's been excellent.
The one that caught my eye, I didn't see yesterday's game, but against Kilmarnock was Tour Romans when he came on at left back. Mm-hmm. He looks as if he could be magnificent.
Yeah, but listen, he's a very good signing. He's a very good player. But you've got to remember, Magoma's been playing left back. You've got to remember he's only 19 years of age. So you've got to give him huge credit for a young kid coming in and playing so many games. So, but certainly Romans looks the part. I agree with you. I was at the Kilmarnock game. He came on. He was very direct, very positive. And then again yesterday, he looked good to get minutes under his belt because he had a slight injury when he first signed. So he certainly looks a good signing. Olsen, you see glimpses. Chukwani's totally different from Rangers have got in the middle of the pitch. He's more a destroyer, but he's actually good on the ball as well. A good physical presence. And Naderi up top looks to me, if he's got all the attributes you would want in a centre forward. He's quick, he's got good movement. But the most important thing for me is he wants to get in the box. That's what number 9s have got to do. They've got to get in the box and make sure they got on that score sheet. So I think overall the transfer window's been really positive from Rangers. And now we're into the nitty-gritty. This is a big week for Rangers. The 2 games that I mentioned over the next 7 days. certainly going to Motherwell for part. Motherwell are a good team.
Do you think they'll win that?
I'm confident they could go. It'll be tough, but I think they'll win it.
It's a fair week, isn't it, with Hearts to come?
I mean, these are the games. This is what you want to be involved in as a football player.
Yeah.
These are the games that are going to define what's going to happen. And these two games for me, will show where Rangers are going to be at the end of the season.
That's why I think it's so big, such a big game for Hearts tomorrow. I think champions get beat potentially like they did against St Mirren, but they respond with 2 and 3 wins after that.
Yeah.
And that's where we're going to see what Hearts are made of this week. They've got Hibs.
And that's the toughest of tests, isn't it?
That's it. They've got Hibs in the derby who beat them before, and then they've got Rangers. They need to go to Ibrox. So we're going to learn a lot about Hearts. We're obviously going to learn a lot about Rangers because Motherwell are a good team. They gave them a lot of problems at Ibrox. To go to Fir Park, how they dismantled Celtic under, fair enough, it was an Onsey team, which wasn't typical Celtic performance. But how they're going to deal with the Motherwell threat, it's a huge week in the title race.
Yeah, some really intriguing games coming up.
When Motherwell came to Ibrox, I've not seen a team come and dominate so much in the first 20-25 minutes. They were really impressive. Again, I've seen them live 3 or 4 times, and they've got a certain way of playing, but they're not scared to go back to front as well. What
interested me about that game is Rangers. You don't often see Celtic and Rangers adjusting to teams below them. Rangers never played with a right winger that day.
Yeah,
they played with 4 in the central area to cover Motherwell's 4 because they like to play 4 in that central bit of the pitch. And Rangers played without a right winger to compensate that, which was really interesting. It tells you the threat that Motherwell bring. That's going to be a really good game.
That's an amazing game at Fir Park on Wednesday night. So we're looking ahead to all the games coming up, and it really is intriguing. We're looking back on the Scottish Cup weekend, and we're talking about that quarter-final, Rangers against Celtic. They'll play twice in the space of a week at the start of March. So Barry and Charlie, and your calls as well on 0808 17 17 700.
Football Show with Burger King.
Yeah, good to have you with us on the Go Radio Football Show. Rob MacLean in for Paul tonight with Charlie Mulgrew and Barry Ferguson alongside, talking about the Scottish Cup quarter-final draw. It was made last night. Lee Miller just about ended himself when he pulled Rangers and Celtic out of the draw together. Elsewhere, Dunfermline against Aberdeen or Motherwell. Falkirk played Dundee United or the Spartans, and it is St Mirren against Partick Thistle off the back of an action-packed Scottish Cup weekend, but still those 2 ties to be sorted out. James Tavernier getting a hat-trick for Rangers, Barry, in that 8-0 win yesterday against Queen's Park. Now his contract is up in the summer. Do you think there'll be another one for him?
This is a big question. I've been asked a number of times. I'm giving you my honest opinion.
Well, we depend on it.
I would give him a new 1-year contract. Yep. I think he, not just because he deserves it, because he's been a great servant for Rangers. I still believe he has a lot to offer the team. Maybe it won't be week in, week out, but I don't think you can buy experience. And that's one thing that James Tavernier's got. He's also got very good ability. He's also a good leader. He's also a good guy running about the dressing room, because I've worked with him for 3 months. Very good professional. So, in my opinion, I think it'd be a no-brainer to give him a new 1-year contract.
What do you think, Rangers fans? 0808 17 17 700. James Tavernier, should he be given extra time with Rangers, bearing in mind what he's done in his time with the club? This was Danny Röhl talking about his skipper.
Yeah, sometimes it's football, yeah. Normally Max should start and the Tev should get a rest, but then on the short term in the morning I got then the message from Doc that Max is not available, and then Tev on, yeah, and he showed, I think, his quality. We know Tev is always helpful for the group, but we should not speak about individual. At the moment, the team, they're doing well, and what I like to see that more and more players come in a good level, and this is important for the second half of the season. Now we need all the players on the highest level, and we work really hard to come there.
His goal-scoring feats are incredible. I think his goal against Kilmarnock last midweek season, so you can add another 3 to that. Quite incredible.
At first, I think it showed how long he is in the club. I think this is a legend. He's always available. He is very professional. He scored a lot of goals. Yeah, for a right back. For me, it doesn't matter if it's a pen or it's a set play or something like this. A goal is a goal. I'm happy. I think we need him as a leader. And this is now, in the next following weeks, there's a big competition, a big challenge also in this position. But it's always good for everyone to be in shape. And Tev is in shape. I always can trust him, and he helps the team again.
We've, on this show, Charlie, clocked up a few hours talking about James Tavernier because of his exploits as a leader, as a captain, as an incredible from right back goal scorer. But he's been so regularly slated, and he still is.
Yeah, I think it's because of the amount of trophies that he's won as the Rangers captain, and we've said it before on here, that's not solely his responsibility, although he does carry a lot of the burden because he is the captain. His goal scoring record is unbelievable for a right back. I think whenever he does get a bit of stick, it's because his defensive ability is not great. He's not great in 1v1s. Odd time he's caught a position, but his assist and goals speak for themselves. So I think if it'll come down to one question, it'll be if he's not going to play every game, what kind of character is he going to be in the changing room? Now Barry's obviously spoke really highly of him, having worked with him, and he leads by example in everything he does. But it'd be interesting, and I don't know him, I don't know what he's like, but that can quickly change if you're not on the team and you're somebody that wants to play every week, and as every player should. But as players get older, there's certain players that are better than accepting it than others. Of like, I'm not going to play as many games. I'm going to play X amount of games a year, and you accept that's hard as a professional. I've been there myself, and it just, whatever you bring to the changing room, if you're willing to accept that, and the deal's maybe tailored towards that, and then he's definitely worth giving another contract to. If he isn't, and he's going to be a problem, I'm not saying he is, or that's going to be an issue, then that needs consideration. Definitely if he's going to take up the budget, and depending on what Danny Röhl sees, if Stelling's going to play there, or if he thinks that there's players that can come in and use that budget in a better way. But I think it will definitely come down to what type of player he is when he's no playing, and how he gets through the boys and passes on the message and becomes a really good teammate.
He's been in and out of the team for a while,
Yep.
Barry, hasn't he? Me looking in from the outside, he looks like he handles it very professionally, but you'll know better because you know the man.
Yeah, well, if you look back when Russell Matter was in charge of the team, he was out the team. And I get asked the question on here and from a number of people, would he be a problem? Absolutely not. He would get his head down, like any professional. He wouldn't be happy at not playing, but he wouldn't spit the dummy out. He would get his head down, and he would continue to work hard and train hard and try and force his way back into the team. I think the only thing that James has got to seriously consider, he's been that used to playing every single game, 40, 50 games a season, Rob. Now, that might change next year.
Yeah.
He might only be needed for 20, 25 games. So that's something that you'll need to sit down and really think about. But in terms of a professional and what he brings and what he would bring, still at his age, I would give him a 1-year contract all day long.
He's 34, is he?
Yep.
I'm right in thinking. He's fit, isn't he?
Yeah, he's one of the first in and one of the last to leave. He would go in and do all his work before training actually started.
He must have been a newborn baby.
Yeah. But listen, really looked after himself, really trained, was a very good trainer. Would always stay out after training, work on certain things. So I've got nothing but positive things to say about James Tavernier. And another thing that I really like about him, before I actually got to know him really well and work with him day in, day out. Now, the level of criticism, I always said, I think was a bit overboard. But one thing, what did he always do? Or what did he not do?
He fronted up.
Always.
Yeah.
And that, for me, tells a lot about somebody's personality and somebody's character.
Yeah. It must be difficult, though, when you're a regular player over a long period of time. You can almost guarantee if you're fit, you're going to be in the team. to then enter a phase of your career, Charlie, where you're in and out, and maybe and you never quite know what's coming next?
It's hard because your mind tells you you're still that young player or that player that can play 50 games a season, but your legs, unfortunately, need the rest, or there comes a point where somebody younger is maybe preferred, or the manager wants to sort of move in a wee bit of a different direction, and it's hard to accept that as a professional because you're the same guy that fought his whole life to get there and to compete for positions and coming through for the 10 years of age at boys club level, fighting for your spot, right through academy level, 18s, 21s, going on loan, constantly fighting for your position and fighting and training to be the one that starts, to be the one that has to step aside on a Saturday. It's no easy to take. I didn't find it easy. It's no easy, but it's something as you get older you maybe need to accept, and it might be the time for Tavernier now to sort of accept that you see players that you can go and get a lot more time out your career and earn contracts up into your late 30s if it's something that you can accept. So I think that'll be the decisive part, is can Tavernier accept that slightly less of a role at the club. It's not any less, it's just less game time because you've still got a part to play in that changing room.
How difficult would it have been for him, Barry, when Max Aarons came in at the start of the season, to see him losing his place to a player who was clearly struggling?
I honestly think it would only have made him more determined. He would have been really disappointed that he wasn't playing, and I would expect nothing less. But what he would have done he would have, as I said, no spit the dummy out and mop about the dressing room. Like, he wouldn't have been happy, but he would have been out there and trained hard and made sure that he got back in the team, or forced his way back in the team. And that's exactly what he's done. And also another thing about Tav is he's flexible. He can play right back, he can play wing back, but also he can play right to a back three. So he can play various positions. And you've seen in a couple of occasions with Danny Röhl, he's actually put him into the middle of the pitch.
Yeah.
So it's always good to have a player who can play 3-4 different positions. And certainly, if you asked him to go and play left back, he would go and do it. He's that type of boy. So it'll be interesting to see what happens over the coming months. But I'm a big believer in, I don't think you can buy experience. I think it's always important to have experienced guys about the dressing room
Who know the club.
Yep, and understand. Charlie makes a good point. Would he become frustrated? You could only ask him himself, but if he wasn't playing, he wouldn't be an issue in the dressing room.
Rangers cruising through 8-0 against Queen's Park in the Scottish Cup yesterday. For Celtic, Saturday evening, a totally different story. So nearly out through an extra time against Dundee, and of course it's the two Glasgow superpowers going head to head in the quarterfinals. Here's Martin O'Neill.
Well, as you can tell, I'm really drained. I thought that obviously Dundee played very, very well, but we found a way to win the game. We found some sort of resilience in the last minute of added time, and we get the goal. And I was just genuinely really, really proud of the team in the manner in which they kept going. It didn't look as if it was going to be our evening at all, and we found a way to, first of all, save the game, and secondly, to win it.
It was some day for Junior Adamu on his debut for Celtic, coming off the bench to score the goal which kept Celtic alive in the Scottish Cup, the 42 times winners of the trophy. And Seb Tunekti off the bench made a big impact as well.
It was great for him to score a goal, really, really great. And that's the thing that, first of all, it saves the game for us. Seb coming on and made a big difference to us, big difference. Trying to take players on, trying to dribble past a few players, and at least he had a little bit of backup to help him along the way. But yeah, he was a game changer for us.
With Tunekti, Charlie, are we seeing the effect of getting some players in the window, some competition in the wide areas? Yeah. For instance, did we see from Tunekti a different sort of performance because suddenly he's got someone breathing down his neck and he maybe doesn't get the automatic start he thinks he's going to get?
That's exactly it. Players coming into the club, new signings. It's not just the new signings coming in. I mean, we've seen Mvuka, wasn't a great start for him, early days for him just coming in. He looks sharp, and I'm sure he'll get better, but it wasn't the best day for him. But then Tenecti knows it's his chance to step up. There's signings there. James Forrest is sitting in the wings as well, waiting to come on, who makes an impact ahead of when Yang comes off. And yeah, Tenecti steps up and looks like the player when he first came in. He's blew hot and cold a few times, been unsure about him, looked like somebody that he floats in and out of games, and all of a sudden steps it up. And that's what happens when you bring new players in. Everybody gets a lift. You see Vinchara starts a game, and then Adamu comes on and scores a goal. So right away you get competition for places. Nobody knows who's going to start the next game. Everybody's fighting for their place. That brings the levels of training up, and whoever gets their chance needs to try and take it and stay in the team. And that's what creates a culture of a winning culture, a culture of players playing at their best, being right on the edge because they know they're getting hooked off the pitch or they're not going to start the next game. They might be on appearance fees. They might be looking for international call-ups. The World Cup's coming up. All these things add into it. People are on loan moves to prove themselves till they can get their next move and score goals. Damu comes on and scores that lovely finish. I mean, his goal-scoring record coming to Celtic's not been brilliant when you look at it in paper, but he scores his first goal for Celtic, and that could kick him on. It could start a career as well. But as far as Tenecti's concerned, he showed that he's up for the fight, and now he just needs to maintain it. If he gets a chance to start, he needs to keep excelling the team by creating goals and scoring them like he did.
It's that fresh blood in the squad effect, Barry, isn't it? And we're seeing that, I guess, at Rangers at the moment as well, because when Danny Röhl brought his subs on against Kilmarnock last midweek, there was that sort of sparkling finish to the game from Rangers. And then, of course, 8 goals yesterday. And no matter who you're playing against and how poor Queen's Park were, to score 8 goals without reply against anyone, it has to be impressive.
Well, you make a good point. If you go back to the game against Kilmarnock, which wasn't great, certainly in the first half, then you make the changes. I just thought the standard went up a level when the manager made the changes, and it certainly lit the game up a bit and Rangers became more dominant. I know Kilmarnock tired down to 10 men, but you could see the level of player who Rangers have brought in. And I totally agree with Charlie. In whether it's the summer or January, when you see new players walking through that dressing room door, that's competition for places. Then you think to yourself, he plays in my position, I need to step it up a wee bit. So it's always good to bring fresh blood in, but I'm a big believer in when you bring fresh blood in, they have to raise the standards. These people have to come in to be ready for being in the starting 11. I don't think, in terms of Rangers, I think the 4 signings that I've made, I'll go straight into the starting 11. I don't know too much about Celtic's new signings, but I would think Martin O'Neill would be thinking along the same lines as he wants to go and strengthen it and make it stronger, because you need, if you're going to go for trophies and try and win trophies, you need competition for places.
The other thing as well, tonight with this all was Oxlade Chamberlain getting paraded before the match.
Yeah,
he can play in midfield, I know as well, but he's played a lot of his career in the wing. Tonight all of a sudden looks at it and goes, oh, could I be 3rd and 4th choice winger here? Going from somebody who was the only winger at one point that could take people on and create, now all of a sudden he needs to step up because there's competition. Oxlade Chamberlain's in the building. It can only benefit Celtic.
You can join the football conversation as well. You can chat to Charlie and to Barry. Get yourself involved. 0808 17 17 700.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King.
Yeah, Charlie Mulgrew and Barry Ferguson with me, Rob MacLean, and with you for another hour and 10 minutes. Get yourself involved on the phone lines 0808 17 17 700. Just before the break, a big name cropped up, a big name in terms of what he's done in the past, and also squeezing it onto the back of a shirt is pretty challenging as well. They managed the Chamberlain, they didn't manage the Oxlade Celtic, and it's Alex Oxlade Chamberlain on loan.
Well, I was told when I left there the number 21 was getting retired, and I seen him wearing it, so I'm raging.
Yeah? Were you not involved in the discussion about that at all, no? You could have done with a double-barrelled surname yourself. Could you have had a double... do you have a middle name?
Patrick Mulgrew.
All right. So it could have been...
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
There's always a danger element, isn't there, to signing a big-name player. I mean, it gets everybody excited just because he played with Arsenal, Liverpool. He's so decorated. He's won so many things. 35 England caps as well. But you don't want to sign a reputation. You want to sign a good player, don't you?
You do, but if you strip it back, ability-wise, he's a top player. Started off at Southampton, got a move to Arsenal, Liverpool, and then went out to Turkey, Besiktas. My only issue, if I was a Celtic supporter looking and thinking about this signing, would be he's not played any football for 6 or 7 months. That's a concern. And why has no other clubs been interested in him? But listen, if Celtic get him fit, up and running, they have a top quality player in their hands. There's no doubt about that.
Charlie, I'm going to get your thoughts in a sec because we've got Gary on the line as well from very nearby, from the Gorbals. Gary, how are you doing?
Evening, Rob. Evening, Charlie and Barry.
Very Gary.
What are your thoughts, Gary, on Alex Oxlade Chamberlain for Celtic? And it's till the end of the season, but there is an option for another year.
Yeah, I think similar to the Iheanacho deal. I think it's, I don't know if you can call it a risk, because he is probably fitter than what Iheanacho is, and the fact that he's been training with Arsenal for a few months, I think, suggests that he's probably more ready to start, possibly against Livingston midweek. So I think he's going to be a player that could be pivotal for us for the running. Obviously, it's going to be massive in terms of trying to claw back the lead over Rangers and Hearts, but I think he's definitely a player that can affect, because ultimately he's a Champions League winner, he's a Premier League winner, and you need that kind of in your squad, basically.
You mentioned Kelechi Iheanacho there. I must admit, I was scratching my head at the Celtic game on Saturday night, not seeing his name in the squad at all.
Yeah.
Because has he picked up another knock? Because otherwise, sure, you'd want him to be getting some minutes, wouldn't you?
100%. He must have got another wee niggle, maybe a setback.
Which is worrying in itself, I suppose.
A bad hamstring strain he had, or pull, and then he come back, maybe he's picked up a wee, or maybe it's just precaution, maybe it was tight, and you don't want to kind of force him out there and it could be one of the ones where they're building him up slowly to have him for the last bit and have him fully fit, because you don't want to push him too hard, because when you've had one setback, I know, and from my experience, the physios are a lot more cautious to make sure you're right.
What about we have to reserve judgment, I guess, Gary, on the other new signings. Charlie mentioned Mavuka. I thought he started the game quite promisingly, but then kind of faded away and he was hooked at half time. Adamu came on and obviously got the goal that took the tie to extra time. So I guess we have to reserve judgment, Gary, on the impact. I mean, the impact we've spoken about on the show already was maybe in the performance of Tinekti.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, as you say, I think at this point in time, they are only names in terms of, but apart from Oxlade Chamberlain, I think that we don't really know much about them, and obviously we've only seen a kind of first half from Mavuka, and I didn't think he'd done overly badly, but I just thought at the same time there's probably more that you could get out of him. In terms of that, obviously Junior Adama comes on, and I think he looked bright, and I think he looked sharp in front of goals. Obviously, he wasn't long in the park, but he's already made his mark, and he's got that kind of chip off his back that he's now scored for Celtic. So hopefully first for many. But yeah, as I say, I just think the Iheanacho one, I think possibly cut ties at the end of the season, because I think if you're always going to be on the injury table, I don't really see the point in having him at the club. You want to have fully fit strikers at the club, but then again, you were shocked that Iheanacho wasn't in the squad. I was more shocked that maybe Arnie Engels and Dyson Maida weren't in the squad either.
Yeah, rested, I guess, Kasper Schmeichel as well. What about? I'm interested in the effect the fan boycott had or didn't have on Saturday night. I mean, what would the attendance normally have been, Gary? Do you think, for a Scottish Cup tie kicking off at 5:30, and what was it?
I'll be honest, I haven't seen the official attendance. I've heard rumours of like 25,000 and things like that, but to be honest, I think it wouldn't have been that much more. Maybe another 10, 15,000. I think you're even talking 40,000. I think. What
did you think, Charlie?
I think it had an effect. The big one for me is Green Brigade, because whenever Celtic has been flat in the stadium, they're always singing, they're always chanting. It brings up the atmosphere a wee bit. That wee percentage makes a difference. I think it had an effect. I think there's no doubt about it. When stuff like that's going on behind the scenes and it filters into the stadium like that, it has an effect. There's no better thing than a club being connected for the board right through to the fans, through the players and the coaches and everybody coming together as one. We've seen it in recent times with Ange Postecoglou, Brendan Rodgers, his first spell, and then the early part of his second spell. There's nothing better than a club being connected. Right now it's not fully connected and it's not helping anybody.
I know Martin O'Neill said recently he's not part of the United Nations peacekeeping force, so he can't really get involved professionally from that point of view. But here's what he said afterwards.
Celtic is not what anybody wants, and I think the sooner that we could resolve the differences between all parties, the better.
Is it improving, Gary? Are we getting somewhere with bringing everybody back together again? I think there are meetings planned, aren't there?
Yeah, I think it's a case of he said, she said at this point in time where, there's certain stories going about from Brian Wilson, there's certain stories going about from the Green Brigade and the Celtic collective groups and things like that. I think we do need to get some sort of unity back in. I think that the wording I didn't like about Brian Wilson was saying that they have to have a full stadium. That suggests to me that they're caring more about the money side of things rather than having the fans back in and backing the team. It sounded very much to me like it was more on the money side of things. I think in the run-in, we've got a dozen games to go. I think we've got to get the fans back in. We've got to get the Green Brigade back in. We've got to get everybody singing from the same hymn sheet because we've got 14 cup finals or 15 cup finals coming up, to be honest, and we've got to win every one of them if we're going to win the league. I still don't think we're going to win the league. I still think we've blew our chance, to be honest. But as I say, we've got to be singing off the same hymn sheet here. And as I say, Charlie, we're used to playing in front of full stadiums. I was slightly disappointed that Oxlade Chamberlain was paraded in virtually a half empty Celtic Park. But for me, as I say, I just think we need to get together around the table and try and sort this out rapid because ultimately it's going to affect the team week in, week out, especially if we're playing at home.
How far, Charlie, are we away from everyone singing from the same song sheet?
I don't know. The Celtic fans deserve to be heard. I've said this before, they'll be here a lot longer than any staff member or player will ever be. So they deserve to be heard, of course. But this run-in needs everybody to come together and both parties need to do it. Like Brian Wilson has made an attempt on that. But what he's done and what he's said, I don't know. So I don't know how close it is and how the more fans groups will be able to tell you that. But what we all do know is, and Martin O'Neill said it and everybody knows it, that if everybody's on the same page, then it's a much better place, a harder place for opposition to come. Dundee seem to be relishing in the fact they seemed that the credit to their performance, but they seemed a lot more relaxed. And I've seen teams come to Celtic Park before. They deserve credit for that. But listen, get teams at Celtic Park coming to Celtic Park scared of the atmosphere, intimidated, and know the players' intensity. The intensity came in the second half. At start extra time, and you could see the difference. It was crazy. Even the sort of crowd came with the players, and it's hard to see what comes first usually, but when it comes all together, it's unstoppable, and that's what needs to happen.
Gary, thanks for your call. We're talking football till 7.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Watch live at 5 p.m. weekdays on YouTube. Join the conversation on 0808 17 17 700. Talking Scottish football first.
And that's the number by which you can get yourself involved as well. Give us a call on that very number, 0808 17 17 700. Make your point, ask your question of Barry Ferguson and Charlie Mulgrew, who are with me, Rob MacLean, for another hour on the Go Radio Football Show. And, well, we've just come off the Scottish Cup weekend, the Scottish Cup quarter-final draw, which you'll probably agree was pretty dramatic. And we've also got a really fascinating week of top-flight football coming up as well. We've got action tomorrow night, Wednesday night, and then Saturday, Sunday, Edinburgh Derby beginning. Then we've got Celtic against Livingston, Motherwell against Rangers on Wednesday, and at the weekend for the top three, it's Kilmarnock Celtic, it's Rangers against Hearts, both those games on Sunday. And I guess, Charlie, when you look at those fixtures, you would say, well, Celtic against Livingston and Kilmarnock, nothing is easy, nothing is straightforward, but if you were a betting person, you'd probably bet on 6 points out of 6 for Celtic, whereas Rangers have got really challenging games.
Yeah, you would be very surprised if Celtic dropped any points in those games, especially after coming off the back of no great performance against Dundee. They want to respond and have performances to go along with the victories. When you look at Rangers away to Motherwell, there's not much tougher places to go. You could argue Tynecastle, but Motherwell are a real good footballing team and they're going to have a lot of possession and cause problems. It's a game I'd like to see. And then to play against Hearts is another tough game for Rangers. And you look at Hearts fixtures against Hibs, big derby. Obviously Hibs are going to Tynecastle this time, having beat them at Easter Road, and then they have to play Rangers. So a good week for Celtic. Hopefully they can get the 6 points, and then we're going to see what Hearts are made of and what Rangers are made of.
You're going to be at Fir Park, Barry, on Wednesday night for that game, and you're looking forward to it, aren't you? Because it should be a really fascinating tactical battle, apart from anything else.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. I think it will certainly be that. In terms of Rangers and brilliant form, Motherwell, to be honest with you, probably the best footballing team I've seen this season. Really enjoy watching them. So this is a big test for Rangers. But I'm quietly confident that Danny Röhl now knows the Scottish game. He knows Motherwell. He knows the way they go about it, how they play. It's a big test. But listen, if you want to win or want to challenge for league titles, these are the places you have to go and get a result. Performance comes second for me. It's all about the win. So Rangers will have their challenges, no doubt about it, at Fir Park on Wednesday night. But the way that Rangers have went about their business since Danny Röhl's come in, they had that blip at Tynecastle, but apart from that, it's been really impressive. So, as I said to you, it's a brilliant week for Rangers to look forward to. Yeah. Away at Fir Park on Wednesday, and then Hearts coming on Sunday to Ibrox.
The last time Motherwell played Rangers, I think this is the third time they've played this year, and this is going to be on Wednesday night. The first game Motherwell battered Rangers, probably should have won. They drew the game. I know it was Russell Martin's Rangers team. And then at Ibrox, Motherwell were the better team for large spells in the game. Rangers won 1-0. Motherwell denied a penalty that was arguably could have been given. So a big game. That's going to be an interesting result. I would not bet against Motherwell.
No. And do you think that Falkirk and Motherwell, probably the two real surprise packages of the first half of the season, do you think they're going to have a big say in where the title goes? Not that either of them is going to win the title, but that they're actually going to be constantly taking points off anybody.
Yeah, a high possibility. They're two teams that have really impressed me and two teams that have really surprised me, if I'm being brutally honest. I didn't think Motherwell would be as high in the league. I didn't think Falkirk, after winning the championship, coming up the Premier League, would have been sitting comfortably in the top 6. But you've got to give both managers huge credit and the set of players. In terms of Motherwell, there's all this excuse about new managers coming in and new tactics, but the Motherwell players have took to it straight away. That's all. I know he's had them for pre-season, but he's clearly got away playing. Clearly, the players have bought right into it, and the Motherwell fans are really looking forward to going watching their team nowadays, and rightly so, because they're a very good footballing team. But as I said to you, yeah, they take chances. Yeah, they've got a certain way of playing, but also what's impressed me as well, they're not scared to go long at times. Down the channels. They've got willing runners. They've got really good football players. They've got a good. They've just got a real strong unit there, and this is a brilliant test for Rangers in Wednesday night. But I'm sure it's a test that they know all about. There'll not be any surprises in terms of the way that Motherwell will go about the game. So I'm looking forward to it, and it's one that I want to be at. I'm going to be at. I could easily just sit in the house, but I want to be there and sample it.
Having watched them against Celtic under Nancy, I've never seen a team play against Celtic or Rangers in that manner and dominate a game. I mean, I know they play long at times, but it's with a purpose, so they know why they're playing long and when to play long. So they have players coming short to drag players underneath the ball to then have runners going in behind. So they've always got runners in behind, which stretches the opposition defence and allows them to play in front. So they know they're well drilled, and that's why the manager deserves a lot of credit, because his bravery is shown. Sometimes the keeper comes out and makes up a back three in the build up with the ball to play short passes, to risk losing it to concede a goal. Shows the manager's really brave, because the players are willing to play. He's allowing them to make mistakes within that, and that gives you the freedom to go and play. And to get that message across, because already having an idea on how you want to see your team, getting that message across and teaching it is a completely other thing, and Motherwell doing that.
Yeah, it's what he's done is he's put the trust in the players, and I think the players are bought right into that. And do you know what? Another thing, I've listened to him do interviews. If they make a mistake, he's not going to criticise them.
Charlie mentioned the goalkeepers at Callum Ward, I think the goalkeeper, and when Charlie was talking about that, I was immediately thinking he had 2 or 3 blunders in the first half of the season.
That's critical.
But he backed him. He in his after-match interview, he wasn't bothered about that. That's how he wants them to play.
That's what players want to hear. They don't want, if they make a mistake, a manager come out and absolute hammer them. He understands that's the way. That's tactically the way that he wants to play. Mm-hmm. And if they go and make a mistake, do you know what? It's fine. We continue to do that. And I think that gives players so much belief. And you can see that in the Motherwell players. Now, some of these players played for Motherwell last season. And when I watched them last season, you're thinking, not too sure about them. Mm. But the difference that he's made to these players and given them the belief, that's what good managers do, and that's certainly what this new manager's done.
So when you think about belief and you think about having a belief in a manager, I think the moments you mentioned there when he gave away a couple of balls, I think the whole changing room is then looking at the manager to think, what's he going to say now? And that's the moment where you get the lads on board, when you don't cane the goalkeeper for trying something and making a mistake. Mm-hmm. You applaud him for trying. And then all of a sudden the players go, well, he does believe in what he's saying. And they gain a confidence in that, because you almost take away the fear of making the mistake, because you understand that it doesn't matter. The manager would rather us make mistakes trying it than hiding and just playing it long for no reason. Yeah. So that's how you get a belief and a trust in your manager.
You mentioned this, Barry. See, if you looked at that Motherwell squad last season and you said, right, there'll be a new manager and there'll be 1 or 2 changes to the squad, nothing massive, just a couple of changes, and Motherwell will be playing the best football in the Premiership. I mean, you just wouldn't have believed that, would you?
No chance. I would have said to you as well, I would comfortably believe that we'd finish in the bottom 6. But that's where the manager deserves huge credit. He's just given these players so much belief. And again, they don't go out there with any fear. They know their roles and their responsibilities. And if it goes against them at times, they'll continue to do it, because they know for a fact the manager will back them. But in terms of, they're just, as I said to you, I was at the game at Ibrox, and for the first 20 minutes, I haven't seen a team come to Ibrox, even through some tough times over the last couple of seasons, come and dominate the ball so much.
Yeah. I
haven't seen it in a long time.
Another really impressive thing about Jens Bertolansky as well, for me, is that this season, when you think about it, I mean, Maswinise was away at the African Cup of Nations, so he missed a few games. Stephen Welsh missed 2 or 3 games. Stephen Welsh has been such an important part of what they do defensively, and obviously he was back at Celtic for a spell before he went back on loan, so they missed him for a few games as well. He just rejigs things, he slots players in, and it continues to work.
Well, I think that tells you exactly what you need to know about how thorough he is with his tactics and how thorough he is with his game plan and the way he sees the game, because you swap out some big players, you bring in other players, and they just seamlessly slip into what they're doing, and they've looked absolutely brilliant. The way they've played, the way they've played through the lines, the way the rotations. They know exactly what they're doing within the rotations, and he's recruited perfectly for what they're trying to do. The boy Elliott Watson had an injury recently. I mean, when have you related teams that have a load of possession to a defensive record of 2 goals in 13 games? Usually we would say a team that are expansive and that are playing football with possession, they're vulnerable to the counter-attack. Now Motherwell aren't, because they set up behind the ball with a blocker. They have 2 centre-backs and 2 midfielders right in front. usually if one of the midfielders goes and joins in, it's the fullback that comes inside, and they have a block that blocks the middle of the pitch. So it's good positional play when they've got the ball, but also when they lose it, they're instantly in a good position to win it back, and they're all willing to do recovery runs. So he's got all sides of the games covered, and he's the reason why, if Martin O'Neill doesn't stay at the end of the season, if he decides to go, or Celtic decide to go another direction, he's the man that Celtic should go for, in my opinion.
We mentioned Luke Graham earlier in the show as being potentially on the shopping list. He'll be on the shopping list for plenty, but maybe including Celtic and Rangers. Should Elliott Watt be in that category as well, Barry?
Yeah, really good football player. He's a player that I enjoy watching. And he's another one who's had a fantastic season. I think, what is he, 24? That right? So he's still got a hell of a lot of football. He's still got a bit of work to do, but I just like the way that he goes about it. Very comfortable, very elegant on the ball, but also out with that, he does the dirty side. He works really hard off the ball, really well disciplined. So he's another one everybody's talking about, certain players in the Motherwell team. For me, he's a rock in there in the middle of the pitch, in the engine room. That's the most important part of any team that I believe in. He's certainly been a standout for Motherwell this season.
The thing about Elliott Watt is,
I thought you were checking his age there.
I was. He's 20, just turned 25, so
we
bang on. Aye. The thing about Elliott Watt for me is, I thought he might have been younger than that. That's why I checked it just to see. But he takes it in real tight areas. So, and what he understands, he knows exactly where his options are before they get it. Another reason why the manager deserves a lot of credit, because the players know that if they move out a slot, they know somebody else is there. They know the pass coming into them, even if there's a man on. Sometimes it's a bounce pass to move somebody to find the next pass. There's all sorts of different combinations within that, and there's nothing better than a football pitch if you know you can take the ball, because you know, I know where my exit plan is here. I know there's somebody going to look for it. I know if he doesn't look for it, the manager will be on to him. And the main thing is here, everybody's wanting the ball, whereas other managers, maybe you can hide, and as long as you're safe and you just play it long, the manager's happy. Not Bertasco, he wants you to play, give your teammate options. Elliott Watt looks a player because, I mean, you could put Elliott Watt in, if you put Elliott Watt in Hearts' team right now, you wouldn't see the same Elliott Watt. That's my opinion on it, because he would be chasing a lot of second balls. He would be looking to fight and scrap like Devlin does. He would be looking for the ball shot for the goalkeeper, looking for the ball shot for centre backs. We've seen Stuart Finlay fall over the ball and cause a goal against St Mirren. Dale McInnes comes out and says, we've told them to spin in behind, what we've done all season. We play forward, we pick up seconds. That's what Hearts do. Elliott Watt would be wasted in the Hearts team, because he would be, his strength isn't to fight for second balls. His strength is to have a team that have possession and take risks, and he'll lend the ball and play the ball and move it. So he would be a good signing for Celtic or Rangers, a team that are willing to have possession. But he needs to find that right move, because he's a special type of player that likes to take the ball and move it and have options.
The only issue Motherwell might have is they've not had a game for 10 days. Bit rusty. Couple of cancellations. I don't know whether they might have had a behind closed door game, play against the younger boys or whatever. So, yep, a lot of people say, they'll be fresh, but as a football player, you want to be playing. Continually playing, certainly with the form that they're on. So they've missed out in the last couple of games, obviously through the weather situation.
Although they've answered every other question this season, so they might just answer that one as well.
Listen, I'm really looking forward to it, because it's not just a tough test for Rangers, it's also a tough test for Motherwell.
Yeah,
Rangers are in good form, so I think it's going to be a cracker, and that's why I'm looking forward to being there.
I'm just thinking there's going to be some raid on Motherwell potentially in the summer. When you think about Tawanda Maswanise, undoubtedly people will be queuing up for him. Eli Just and Elliott Watt, to name but three of that team.
But a lot of them going about they three, and rightly so, because they've been outstanding. See, like Paul McGinn at the back, he's been outstanding.
Padinger, another one.
Yeah,
he has.
Oscar Priestman, he's looked pretty. Yeah, he just seems to. Asco just seems to have this ability just to slot players in. They know exactly what's required of them.
It's not a coincidence, Rob. It's a manager that's complete. I asked him in an interview for Premier Sports, your team looks so brave. Why are they so brave? Why it's obviously a reflection of the manager. And I says, how are you feeling standing on the side? And he says, I'm excited to see them enjoying their football. So I see a team that's excited and loving their football to have possession, because I've probably played in teams for years that have no played in that way and wanted to dominate the ball. So all these players slot in because they suit and they want to have the ball. And let's be honest, when we grew up in school playgrounds and we grew up playing in the street, or we grew up playing with our boys' clubs, or however we grew up, we never once thought, oh God, I'm just going to lump this forward the way I'm facing. Everybody wanted to have the ball and try and make something happen and make play passing football with the ball on the ground. So it's naturally in you as a young player. So these players are thriving on that.
It's such a great philosophy, isn't it? And it must be just great to hear that from your manager.
Yeah, and listen, you can see that the Motherwell players are thoroughly enjoying playing under him as a football player. That's what you want. You just want the guy in the touchline or the guy inside the dressing room who has the voice just to give you that belief. And when you go out on the pitch, you don't want to make mistakes, but then see if you do make a mistake, you know he's going to back you. He's not going to go through you, because he'll just encourage you to keep doing the right thing and what he sees as the right thing. And as I said to you, they're a very good team to watch. And when they go forward in numbers, they're very well disciplined behind the ball as well, because when it breaks down, they don't get hit in the counter-attack much, because they're organised, well organised when they're going forward. And that's important to that's important to a team if you want to be a team who's going to go and challenge and listen. They've had a fantastic season, and as I said to you, bump into a few Motherwell fans, they love what's happening. They've not seen a team play like this before.
I know. It's a great week of football coming up, and probably none better than that one at Fir Park Wednesday night.
I would have loved to end my career playing for Motherwell. I would have absolutely loved it.
Could you not come back? Could you not come back now?
No, no. There's no seen me running, Rob. No, I would have loved to have just been able to play in a team like that to finish and really enjoy football that way.
Yeah.
I think Wednesday night at Fir Park tactically is going to be interesting as well. What way Rangers are going to approach it.
Well, Danny Röhl, as I said, the last game didn't play with a right winger. He brought Asgard in to match up against Motherwell's 4 in midfield. So he'll know what they bring, but one thing's known and another thing's trying to stop it, because when Asgard comes into that midfield area, it then allows the left back to be free. And then also when the left back pushes right on and Tavernier picks him up, then the goalkeeper comes out and makes up a back three, and you've got Welsh that's spare. Yeah. So there's got solutions within that.
And if it's Longolo,
I know what midfield three
he can do some damage, can't he?
I know what midfield three is going to be playing at Fir Park.
I'm going to have a guess. Raskin.
Yes.
Diamandi.
Yes.
And Chukwueze.
Yes.
Chukwueze.
Aye.
And then do you think they'll play a right winger, or do you think Asgard will come off the right?
I think they might switch to a back three.
Oh, right.
I think they could go 3-5-2, 5-3-2.
The only thing with that one is when Celtic went back 3, back 5 against them, their two full-backs pinned back Celtic's wing-backs, and all of a sudden you've then got a flat back 5, and they just dominate in front of you, because you've only got then 5 other players against their 7.
Yeah.
Including a goalkeeper, which is 8, which allows you to dominate the ball in front of them. But it'll be interesting to see.
It will be. I'm looking forward to 10-7, 5-7 when the teams come out, when Rangers name their team, because they know they need to be 100% bang on it on Wednesday night.
Will you be in the deer seats, the heated seats? Have you got a heated seat?
You never know.
Park?
They don't like me at Fir Park.
It's wooden seats at Fir Park, innit? It's wooden seats.
That's true, actually.
What a pitch, but what a surface.
Oh, lovely.
Shout out to groundsmen, they put it on it there.
Yeah.
One of the worst surfaces. We never enjoy going to Fir Park, but see, over the last 3 or 4 years, it's like a bowling green.
Yeah. Is it still good at the moment?
Still very good.
Despite everything, yeah? Because some of the surfaces are suffering pretty badly.
I've not seen it this morning, Rob, but
is it taking a stud? Is it taking a stiletto heel? Anyway, we're going to take a break now, and when we come back, it's competition time. Pick Your Pundit is what it's called. Personally, I'd have neither of these two, but you could win £500.
Win on Go with Scottish Gas. With Scottish Gas Peak Save, get half-price electricity every Sunday from 11 a.m. till 4 p.m. Smart meter required. Eligibility and terms apply.
Okay, time for our brand new competition. Pick Your Pundit with Scottish Gas, and we're giving you the chance to win up to £500. On the line, trying to win with a little help from his friends, is Mark, a Celtic fan from Hamilton. Hi, Mark.
Hi there, how are you doing?
Yeah,
All right, Mark.
Good, thank you.
How we doing, Mark?
And good luck depending on these
No
two
pressure, guys.
as well, Mark.
Can handle pressure. Don't worry about that.
So let me explain how it all works. I have a question here for the pundits, Barney Ferguson, Charlie Mulgrew, with various numbers or a number of answers available, and they'll list how many they think they can answer. The pundit who says they can answer the highest number is worth £500, and the lower number estimate, well, that is worth £250. So you're going to have to take your pick. For example, if we were talking about how many Scottish Champions League winners you could name, if Barry said 7 and Charlie said 5, and you picked Barry, that's worth £500, and you would win that amount only if Barry was right in his estimate and he could get all 7 right. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm not sure it makes any sense to me, but we're going to plough on regardless. So tonight's Pick Your Pundit question is... and we asked the guys this during the break. How many Scotland men's international players can you name with 60 or more caps? And I can tell you that there are 20 of them with 60 or more Scotland caps. I'm a bit worried, Barney, because you're looking quietly confident.
Yeah, I'm not. I'll say I'm confident.
Right, okay. So how many do you think of the 20 that you can name?
I'm going to put my neck in the line here. I'm going to go 16. I was going to go more. I'm going to go 16.
60. You were going to go all 20,
Fair
weren't
play,
you?
yeah.
I was going to... do you know what? I've got 24 written down. I think I've got the 20. But to
You
be
know
safe,
there aren't,
and
there aren't 24.
I want the caller to win the money.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to go 16.
Charlie, higher or lower?
Lower. I'm pretty confident with 10. I've got 17 written down, but I'm confident with 10.
Okay, so you're saying 16, Barry, and Charlie, you're saying 10.
I'm going to go 16. Yes.
So it's time, Mark, then
Confident.
to pick your pundit based on what they've said, how convincing they've sounded in the last 2 minutes. Remember, the higher number would get you 500 quid if Barry was right, or you could win £250 if you go for the more conservative estimate given by Charlie. So what do you reckon?
Barry does seem confident, which has put me wanting to go for the 500. So
Right. Okay. So you're gonna, but you've gone for Barry.
Yeah.
Right.
I like it.
Okay. So so you need to get 16 of the 20 who've won 60 caps or more with Scott. How many caps did you win, Barry?
45.
And Charlie?
44.
44. Right, Mark. Let's have your selections, and I'll tick them off as they go. Is this you thinking, Mark?
No, it's Barry.
selection.
I know, I was wondering what you were saying there,
No,
Rob.
Barry has to read his out. Barry reads his. Rob's having a nightmare.
No,
Sorry.
He had a hard weekend, Rob. didn't he?
Right, okay.
So
This
reads his.
is my first time on the quiz.
Okay, so Barry reads his and we count the 16.
Okay,
Right, Charlie, swap chairs.
I couldn't give you 6.
So,
Right, you ready to go?
Right, well,
I'm ready.
When we've edited this for broadcast, it'll be fine.
Right, go on.
Kenny
Right,
Dalglish,
yes.
Jim Leighton,
Yep.
Dan Fletcher,
Correct.
Andy Robertson,
Yep.
Craig Gordon, John McGinn,
Yep.
Tom Boyd,
Correct.
Callum McGregor, Paul McStay,
Is correct.
Alec McLeish,
Yep.
David Weir, Christian Daly.
Well done.
Is that one?
It is.
Alan McCoist.
Is correct.
Old coach Roy Aitken.
Roy Aitken is not correct.
No? Surprised. Scott McTominay.
Correct.
Willie Miller.
Yep.
Danny McGrain.
Mm-hmm.
How many am I at?
Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 15. That's 16.
There you go.
You've got your 16. Are you gonna go for any more?
Right. I'll go Grant Hanley.
Correct.
Did
your
I say Ryan Christie? Yeah.
By the way, Mark, you don't get more than 500 quid because he gets more than 16.
By the way, I don't think Mark. I don't think. I've got a feeling Mark doesn't win.
How?
If he gets more than 16?
No, because I think there's been one named wrong. Maybe I've not got the game right, but
no,
we need confirmation here, James.
Oh, we might
Have
need...
you got Ryan Christie down?
Yes. I mean, I think this is pretty impressive, to be honest, even with one wrong, that you've only got 2 that you haven't picked, 2 out of the 20. Now,
I've got 20 players. I've got 24 players here. I've got Kenneth Dalglish, Jim Leighton, Dan Fletcher, Andy Robertson, Craig Gordon, John McGinn, Tom Boyd, Paul McStay, Alan McLeish, Callum McGregor, Kenny Miller, David Weir, Christian Daly, Roy Aitken, Alan McCoist, Danny McGrain, Grant Hanley, Willie Miller, Ryan Christie, Scott McTominay.
you didn't say Kenny Miller, did you?
Oh, did I know?
No.
Well, I've said Kenny Miller
You
now.
have. Right, well,
Nice.
that's 19 out of 20.
19 out of 20.
Perfect. Well done, Barry.
There
He
you go, there's
wins.
500 quid for you.
What's that, James?
You've won, Mark.
Thank you so
He
much.
wins, right, okay. So, I mean,
Then, no, the other ones I had, Gary McAllister. I don't think he... Is he?
he's not, no. You're only,
Graham Souness.
You're only missing one, and
I don't know
and
who
he's
it
a
is.
and he's a legend.
Gordon Strachan, maybe.
No, it's not.
Strachan.
It's not Gordon Strachan, but he's a legend at your former club, Barry.
Richard Gough, I'm going.
Is correct.
What is it?
Richard Gough.
How
He'll-
did I not
he'll-
get that?
How did I know that? How did I know that and you never?
Oh, he'll be raging.
I think we should let him know that you didn't get that
No,
one.
that's all right. No, he'll remember me, don't worry.
Mark, what
That's all right.
Mark, what do you reckon
was a good
about
effort.
what do you reckon about that performance from Barry Ferguson?
That was impressive. I was in two minds, but I thought I put my trust in him, so he done well.
It was a very good choice there, Mark. Very good choice. You might have, I think you would have won the 250 with me, but you got yourself the 500. And sorry for trying to get that 500 taken off you there. I thought I get the rules mixed
I know,
up, but you won.
disappointed in you,
That's
Kyle.
the main thing.
And so, Charlie, how many that you'd written down were right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Colin Henry, one of them.
No.
You might know I won then. 7, 8, 9, 10. Kieran Tierney.
No.
Alan McGregor, not.
No.
10. 10 I wrote down were right.
10 out of 20.
But I don't think I would have chose that 10. So I'd have said Colin Henry. But I'd have got 10, aye. I'd have got you 10.
I thought Roy Aitken was a good shout, actually, but he
No,
can't-
because I remember Roy Aitken saying to me when I was at Birmingham about Scotland caps.
Right, okay.
But he was over 60. Aye. 60 caps. But the ones that I've scored out was Colin Henry, you just mentioned, Graham Souness.
Yeah.
He's not got 60
No.
caps.
No.
Gary McAllister,
I had him written down as well, but no.
19. That's not bad.
That's well played. So, Mark,
Nice.
you've won £500.
Well done, Mark.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
You're
Good for me.
you're a Celtic fan, is that right, Mark?
That's correct.
Yeah.
I've just won a Celtic fan 500 quid.
How do you feel?
No, he's for Hamilton, so.
Yeah. What are
That's
you
all right.
what are you thinking, Mark, about the Martin O'Neill effect at the moment?
Well, so far they're picking up results, but maybe not the season aren't brilliant. But let's keep going and seeing how things progress towards the end of the season. I know we've got a lot of big games coming up, so we just need to the new players developing in the team.
Does performance matter to you?
Moment, no. It's just at this time of the season, we just results matter. Results are the only thing that matters in this time of the season.
Well,
1-0 do us every single game.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, good to have you in the show, and well done on winning £500.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, guys.
Well done, Mark.
Cheers,
Well done,
Mark.
Mark.
And we're really looking forward to this week of football coming up. We've been raving about that Motherwell Rangers game and what that might bring at Fir Park on Wednesday night. But let's look no further. And it's not a game that Rangers and Celtic are involved in, but that game tomorrow night could have big implications, couldn't it? Because it could decide. I mean, I know there are plenty of games to go afterwards, but Hearts having lost in Paisley, were they to lose again in the derby, and kind of anything can happen in that Edinburgh derby. How serious would that be for Hearts, do you think, in the title race, Charlie, were they to lose tomorrow night?
I think we're at the point now where between Hearts, Celtic and Rangers, if you don't get a result, you don't get a win, you need to respond with not just one victory, you need to respond with 2 or 3 victories in a row. So Hearts are really under pressure now against Hibs. That 6-point gap, having been there before and drop points, and then the team below you make up the points, that 3-point gap, that 6-point gap all of a sudden becomes 3, but it doesn't feel like 3 points. It's not the same as if you jump above somebody having took a 3-point lead on them. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like you're starting to lose ground, and you need to respond and get over that quickly by winning again, and then making Rangers have to go to Fir Park to win. And I think this is huge, a huge week for Hearts and Rangers, but particularly Hearts in terms of being in the lead. They need to respond with a victory. If they don't, then all of a sudden they go to Ibrox under a big bit of pressure, and they could potentially be knocked off top. And that psychologically for Hearts would be them finished if they get knocked off top this week.
Do you think normal service will resume for Hearts tomorrow night, Barry, or not?
I think they'll win tomorrow night.
Right.
I think the defeat last week against St Mirren and Paisley would have hurt him. You could see he wasn't happy. He spoke about the goal. I think it was Finlay.
Yep.
He was saying he was just wanting him just to get it up top. He took a chance, and then they lose one of their most influential players, Halkett.
Halkett could have got rid of it as well, couldn't he? He could.
Yeah.
He
could as well,
He took
yeah.
a touch.
But
he took a touch. At
You
the
go
edge of
for the
box.
first port call. It was Finlay. Just get it up the pitch. So I think Hearts will be seething a wee bit, and I think they'll come out the traps, and I think they'll go for Hibernian. If you think back to the last derby, they get a point in the last couple of minutes, didn't they? Hearts.
They scored in the last minute. It was Halkett.
Hibs were really dominant. Hearts weren't great, but they showed good character to get at least come away Feaster Road with a point. Yeah, I think Hearts will win this game tomorrow night. I think that result, as I mentioned, against St Mirren, I think you had a few people talking. That's them now starting to struggle a wee bit. That's them going to be coming off the top of the table. I know what Derek's like. I know what he'll be running about the players, and this is something, or this is a point they'll go and have to prove to everybody that they're not going away.
And it's a classic one tomorrow night of who cares what the quality of football's like, just win.
Exactly. Listen, it could be a horrendous game of football as long as you come out with the 3 points. But you know what derbies are like. It's going to be cutthroat. It's going to be 100 mile an hour. It's whoever handles the occasion the best tomorrow night will win the game. But if you're asking me who I think, I'm going to go with Hearts. I don't think it'll be a classic, but I think Hearts will come away with the 3 points.
I am asking you what you think, and I'm going to be asking both of you what you think about all of the midweek games. When we come back, we're talking football till 7.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King.
And into the last segment of the show, a show in which Mark managed to win £500 thanks to Barry Ferguson's brain power. And well done to Mark. And we're looking ahead to football coming up. And there is a question, actually, that I want to throw at you that Danny from Baillieston has messaged us with. Should Celtic go for Michael Carrick, Charlie, if he doesn't stay on at Man United at the end of the season?
I'd be surprised if he didn't stay on, but surely he would be a candidate, yeah. Why not? Somebody that's done well at Middlesbrough. Never mind the stuff he's doing at Man United just now, but he'd done well at Middlesbrough before. Nearly got a promotion. Definitely one that would be considered, I'd imagine.
But the indications at the moment, I guess, would be that Man United will keep him on.
I think Man U will take him next year. He seems to have got a response for that changing room. Seen the guy the other day in TikTok says he wasn't cutting his hair to Man U won 5 games in a row, and his hair's down to there. So he's been doing it for a few years now, growing his hair. So he's close to Man U win. He's going to get a wee short back and sides. He's due. You should see this boy. Have a wee look at him. Madness. But no, he would imagine Man United will keep him. If not, I still think right on the doorstep's the man for the job. The better ask who the boy at Motherwell is. Got Motherwell playing that stuff. I'd love to see him with a bit more of a budget and with Celtic. I'd like to see that.
Unless Martin wins the
wins
the double and stays on.
Yeah, if Martin wins the league, he should be offered the job for me. Definitely first refusal. I don't know if he's up for it. I'm not sure. But if not, then
surely if he doesn't take the job, they need to keep him on in some capacity.
Yeah. What capacity?
I don't know. No, like a director of football, because I know that's 24/7 as well. But like
a sort of ambassadorial figure.
No, just for a shoulder to lean on type experience. Or
maybe a football guy on the board, maybe.
Something like that.
That'd be a novelty, wouldn't it?
I think it would be crazy to let somebody with that knowledge and that experience just to walk away. I know he's 73, but he's a young 73, let's be honest. So if he doesn't take the job, I think it would be madness for Celtic's part.
Yeah.
If they didn't consider him for some other role in terms of helping the football department, not in a full-time role, but just maybe once or twice a week, or the manager wants to pick up the phone, or a youth coach or somebody like that.
The fans absolutely love him. You know.
Yeah, but again, I keep saying, I don't think you can buy experience. He's experienced so much over his managerial career, and certainly experienced so much in his second or third bit in charge of Celtic. But if you look back, again, craziness letting him go and bringing somebody in who, let's be honest, it was good coaching MLS, but listen, this is a different ball game.
Yeah,
Scottish football.
You would worry about that decision making that decided to let Martin disappear and bring in Wilfred Nancy.
That's Paul Tisdale, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's Paul Tisdale. He's brought in Nancy. He's obviously knew Ampadu, who was his coach. He'd worked with him before. So that's why Tisdale's away. So Martin O'Neill is a football person on the board would be brilliant. That sort of gel between the fans and the board, and coming out and talking about the plans. I also think Sean Maloney can play a role in that. I know he's forward thinking. He's worked at Belgium and worked with top class managers, knows the game, understands the modern sort of way of recruitment and staff, and I think he could be another one that could. He's sort of leaning towards the technical director role at the moment, doing a lot of the sort of transfer stuff and being involved in that. And I think he's always got a part to play as well.
We were touching on the English Premier League there with that Michael Carrick question. What did you make of that late decision in the Liverpool-Man City game yesterday?
Can't get my head round it. Honestly. Cannot work it out why the goal was disallowed.
Yeah. For anyone who didn't see it, how would you describe it?
Somebody hits a shot for the halfway line. It's rolling in. The ball's along the ground. It's going in. Well, it goes in eventually. But Haaland is getting there. He's paced, obviously. He's getting there. Going to run and tap it in, or definitely make sure it goes in. So obviously pulls him back. So he gets in front. Haaland returns the favour and pulls him back. The ball goes in the net. Goal disallowed. So obviously sent off. Mental. I don't understand.
No.
You need a couple of days to read the rules of football to understand that one.
Yeah. It was absolutely crazy. Back to Scottish football, and we're going to just home in on the games coming up tomorrow night and Wednesday night before we go and get the predictions from Barry and Charlie. Barry, you've already had your say, really, on Hearts against Hibs at Tynecastle tomorrow night. Did you give us a scoreline?
I'm going to go Hearts 2, Hibernian 1.
2-1. What do you think, Charlie?
I'm going to say it's going to be a draw. It's going to be one each.
Okay. And what does that do for Hearts? Is that a big blow to Hearts?
Big blow.
Yeah.
They need to respond with 3 points tomorrow. They're understanding what it is and feeling the pressures have been in. Because in a title race, if I'm Hibs, I'm thinking, let's be tight here at Tynecastle, and then the fans eventually will begin to get a bit restless because they know that although they're delighted and they're buzzing that Hearts are in the position they're in, they're this close to a title, they want to go and get that. So keep it tight if I was Hibs, and then frustrate them.
Talking of restless fans, Dundee United against Aberdeen tomorrow night. Wednesday night. How does that go, Charlie?
That's a big game for Jim Goodwin and Dundee United. They're
how much pressure do you think he's under, Jim Goodwin?
I don't think he should be under pressure, to be honest with you, but I think he is. Yeah. I think the fans demand more. I think that's the nature of being at a club like Dundee United. They want more than they're getting.
He was very critical of his team, wasn't he, last game?
He was. I mean, that's a hammer blow, that, to concede those types of goals. Jim likes you to clear your box and edge your box with set pieces. To concede the 2 late goals, I can't describe what that does to your confidence. It's a sore one, being 2-1 up when you're searching for results.
That was the 3-2 at Easter Road,
3-2 at Easter Road, they end up losing 3-2. So they need a result, Dundee United, but I know the confidence will be low, but they'll need to respond. I'm going to say a draw there as well. I'm going to say 2 each.
Okay. 4-goal thriller at Tannadice, maybe. They've both had games off, those two, recently because of pitch problems in the northeast. And would I be right in saying, Barry, that Aberdeen haven't played since losing to Kilmarnock? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. So they have to respond to that with still big question marks over who's going to be the new manager.
Yeah, and it was a poor performance. Kilmarnock absolutely battered Aberdeen. You could see, I watched Peter Leaving, his interview after the game. And he's normally very calm, but no, he was
raging.
Yeah, and no wonder. They were powder puff, Aberdeen on the day. Dundee United struggling. Jim Goodwin last week there was steam coming out his ears. And no wonder, 2-1 up with a matter of minutes to go. I think this has got a draw written all over the top of it. I think it's 2 teams that will be cagey and really defensive. So
Charlie went for 2-2.
I'm going to go 1 each.
1 each in that one. Falkirk against Dundee. Dundee was so impressive at the weekend at Celtic Park and heartbroken at losing. Falkirk, who struggled a bit against St Mirren, but they got there in the end. That was the important thing, and continue to be one of the teams of the season. Falkirk, Dundee. Barry, I'll go to you first for that one.
I'm going to go home advantage. I'm going to go with Falkirk. They made hard work at it last night against St Mirren, but they got the job done. Dundee, I think, under Stephen Presley over the last couple of months have improved a bit. But Falkirk know that surface well. They're at home. They've always got a good crowd behind them as well, Falkirk. Yeah. Good wee atmosphere created there. So I'm going to go home 1 Falkirk. I'm going to go 2-0 Falkirk.
Charlie?
2-1 Falkirk.
Am I getting any more detail?
Dundee, obviously, great performance at Celtic Park. They'll be gutted they didn't get anything from it. Going to Falkirk's a whole different psychological sort of game when you can't probably be as... Although they were a lot more offensive than I thought they would have been against Celtic. They'll need to come out a wee bit more, probably have a wee go at Falkirk. I think Falkirk are really good at home and proved to be a real good side. Should have beat Celtic comfortably. Celtic won 1-0 that night at their place. But I think Falkirk will win that 2-1.
And the Bairns just about nailed down for that for a top 6 finish. On to Celtic Livingston, which is tomorrow night. Sorry, no, it's not. It's Wednesday night.
Yeah, 3-0 Celtic.
3-0 Celtic.
Yeah, comfortable. Need a performance, and I think that's the team that they'll get it against. Is it just a question of counting the goals in that one, Barry?
Yeah, I'm afraid so. I think Livingston are really struggling now. Celtic at home, yeah, I can see Celtic winning that comfortably. I agree with Charlie, 3 or 4-0.
3 or 4-0. And finally, the game of the midweek. Well, I mean, some would say Edinburgh Derby, but Motherwell against Rangers at Fir Park has us really looking forward to it. You're going to be there, Barry. What do you think?
I think it's going to be an interesting game. We spoke a lot about it early on in the show. Tactically, it's going to be interesting to see how Rangers approach it. I think Rangers know they have to win this game to stay in contention. So I'm going to go Motherwell 1, Rangers 2.
I guess it's a question too of what Rangers do, Charlie. Do they try and play their own game? Do they try and stop Motherwell doing what they're doing? Where does the balance lie?
Well, Danny Röhl's built his success on defensive units being collective and keeping clean sheets. So I think they'll be looking to do that, and I think Motherwell will probably have majority of possession. I think there's going to be goals in that game. I think 2-1 Motherwell. 2-1 Motherwell, I'm going to say.
2-1 Motherwell, so it could be a good one from the deer seats at Fir Park for you, Barry, on Wednesday night.
I love it. Listen, it's a big week, isn't it? It's all about opinions.
It sure is. That's what this show thrives on.
He knows Rangers are going to win. He's just like, I can't see it.
I've got to back Motherwell after saying how good they're at football.
But this is a big challenge for Rangers. But again, as I said to you, this is a challenge you want to have as a footballer. You need to go to tough places, and there's no tougher than Fir Park.
Can you believe that's 2 hours of
We've
football
not done Kilmarnock's at Mirren.
Oh, no, we have.
Good point.
Forgetting about a couple of old assistant managers there.
Kilmarnock, St Mirren, Dodds and McCann.
Yeah, I think they'll beat St Mirren. I do.
Bye.
We just mentioned impressive against Aberdeen. I know they went down. You were at the Rangers Kilmarnock game.
Yep.
They went down to, their game plan went out the window after 4 minutes. But I thought
they played some good stuff.
I thought they
did.
They did really well. Tired.
It's a crucial one, a crucial game for them, that one.
Yep. I don't think that'll affect them. Obviously, the defeat against Rangers. I think it'll be a close one. St Mirren are a tough team to play against, but I watched them against Sturgeon. I'm going to go Kilmarnock 1, St Mirren 0.
Charlie's scanning the league table before he gives us his judgment.
1 each. I think if Kilmarnock don't get something for that game, if St Mirren beat Kilmarnock, Kilmarnock are not getting away for that second bottom.
Which would keep the 6 point gap between the pair of them.
Then Falkirk beat Dundee. Is that not right? If Falkirk beat Dundee and Kilmarnock beat St Mirren,
that's
only 3 points.
Yeah.
So they.
I think Kilmarnock need a win more than St Mirren do, but St Mirren will take the draw and 1 each, I'm going to say.
Thanks, Charlie. Thanks, Barry.
Cheers, Rob.
Cheers, Rob.